Ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It is in fact my favorite time of the week. And why is that? Well, we're about to save some money on some amazing Nintendo Switch games. And whenever you can save some money on some great Switch games, well, that should be celebrated. So let's go and get right into this video. So before we actually get into the video, there's something I need to do every single week. What is it? Oh yeah, that's give away some Nintendo eShop gift cards. So this week's winners will be right here. Now if you're ever so inclined to wonder how people get free eShop gift cards over on my channel, well that's something I do for my supporters. So if you would like to have that opportunity, all you have to do is be a subscriber and be following me on Instagram. Once you follow me on Instagram, just let me know that you came from my YouTube, and you will have that same opportunity to win eShop gift cards every single week. So even though I love making these eShop sale videos every week for you guys, I actually need it this week myself because I just got the Zelda Switch Lite. And instead of just using my regular Nintendo account for this, I made a new Nintendo account. So I need to get some games for this one. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. And let's just go on and get right into it. So the first game we're talking about today is Owlboy. It's only $4.99, that's 80% off the full price, and that is the lowest price this game has ever been. You kind of feel like you're playing just a regular game at first, but then it kind of has a pretty deep message. The main character has his own challenges. I actually just re-picked this game up physically a few weeks ago, and once I started playing it again, I fell in love with it all over again. It is a very special game. You do not want to miss this one. Now let's talk about Hades, which is currently $9.99, and that is 60% off the full price. And probably like at least once a month, this game goes on sale, and every single time it does go on sale, I recommend it. This is a game that, in theory, you can kind of play forever. It's a game that's designed for you to die over and over and over again, but as you die, you get stronger, and you learn how to defeat enemies, and it starts opening up new characters and new dialogues. And the whole setting is just so damn cool. There is a second Hades game. I don't think it's on console yet. It might still only be in like the beta version of it. For the time being, Hades is a must-play game, and it's actually one of the best Switch games of all time. So now let's talk about Mortal Kombat 1. And this is currently only $19.99, and that's the lowest price this game has ever been. And this is the first time I think I've ever recommended this game. You may not know this. This was a $70 Switch game when this game was released. I cannot recommend it at that price. It does look and run better on other consoles. It has that same issue a lot of other games have, like it looks pretty crappy sometimes, but it plays perfectly fine. The story in this one is really, really good, really funny. Now we're getting into that threshold where I can recommend this game because for 20 bucks, it's actually worth it. You're gonna have a lot of fun in this one. So yeah, now is the time to pick up Mortal Kombat 1. Another great game that's on sale right now is Dead Cells, and this is currently $12.49, and that's 50% off the full price. This is another game that I guess in theory that you can play over and over, and it's another game that's kind of designed for you to play over and over because you're going to die a bunch of times. Dead Cells has a massive community. I think they're still updating it and doing DLC for it, and that's really cool. They have a Castlevania DLC that is absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, this is a game that I feel like you're either going to love it or it's not going to be for you. But if it is for you, this is a game that you're going to play all the time. So there's a lot of value in this one. For 12 bucks, you're probably going to get like 500 hours of gameplay. Now let's talk about Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. And this is currently $9.99, and that's 75% off the full price. Can Jin save Monster World Kingdom? Help our young hero defeat challenging enemies, discover hidden locations, upgrade powerful equipment, and more. You'll also unlock special forms with unique skills used to open new paths where mighty bosses and secret treasure await. This is another game that I love recommending. Like, don't get me wrong, I know people know about this game, but I still feel like I don't know if it's underrated, the word I'm looking for, but it kind of flies under the radar. This is such a damn good game. The art style is amazing, it has hand-drawn animations, and yeah, just a little thing that you should keep in mind, this has full HD graphics at 60 frames per second, so it looks amazing on the Switch. Another great game that's on sale right now is Blasphemous, and this is currently $6.24, and and that's 75% off the full price. I absolutely love the Blasphemous series. They are amazing games. Every aspect of the game, like the gameplay, the art style, the subject matter, the characters, the enemies, the boss fights, it has it all. For $6, you would think, okay, it's probably a little bit good, but I cannot get a game, I guess, that's amazing for $6, and that's where you would be wrong. I actually play this game all the time, and that's not because it's the longest game, it's because it's incredibly freaking hard, and I have still not beat this game. You need to learn where everything is and kind of map it out in your mind. You need to learn how to defeat certain enemies and use certain abilities and power-ups. And in my opinion, Blasphemous has some of the coolest monsters or enemies in any game, and that's of all time. I truly stand by that. So Blasphemous is a game you don't want to miss. So out of all the games we're going to talk about today, TinyKin is probably the one that I would recommend the most. This is only $6.24, and that's 75% off the full price. Milo arrives on Earth to find that he's way too small. Everybody's gone, and a day hasn't passed since 1991. Team up with a mysterious TinyKin and use their unique powers to create ladders, bridges, explosions, and a lot more. Find a way home through a sprawling, ant-sized metropolis and unravel Earth's biggest mystery. The game that I always compare this to the most is Pikmin, and probably the reason why is, you're tiny and you have all these little creatures, but it's really for having a lack of, better games to compare it to anything else. That being said, this really does have its own style, own adventure, own narrative, and there's some people out there who Pikmin isn't for them. Even if you're that person, I would still recommend this game, and the reason why I would recommend this maybe over Pikmin is I think this one's a little bit more accessible and a little bit more faster paced. Oh yeah, we have to mention the art style here. It's freaking awesome. Now let's talk about a little charming game called TOEM, and this is currently $3.99, and that's 80% off the full price. Set off on a delightful expedition and use your photographic eye to uncover the mysteries of the magical TOEM in this hand-drawn adventure game. Chat with quirky characters, solve their problems by snapping neat photos, and make your way through a relaxing landscape. I actually made a video a few months ago about relaxing and charming games. I think that might have been the title of it. And I was really picky with what games I put in that list because I wanted to make sure each game kind of had its own thing going for it and they didn't overlap too much. And I actually put this game in that video. This is a very special game. The black and white art style really does it justice. This isn't the longest game, only a few hours, but you're going to enjoy every second of it. Now let's talk about Cat Quest 2, and this is currently $3.74, and that's 75% off the full price. Every single Cat Quest game is good. We have 1, 2, and now 3 came out earlier this year. You cannot go wrong with any of them. One thing that I love about them is they go on sale often, and they are always so freaking cheap. What these are RPGs, but they're themed with cats and dogs and stuff like that. So you might think, okay, this is probably a pretty childish game. Sure, when you think of an RPG, maybe cats and dogs aren't the first thing that come to mind, but it actually works really well, and the way the game plays into the theme, it really makes it pretty fun. So yeah, Cat Quest 2, check it out. Now let's talk about UnMetal, and this is $5.99, and that's 70% off the full price. You play as Jesse Fox, who finds himself in prison in a covert military base, where he's arrested for a crime he didn't commit. Jesse must now escape using his dry wits, quick words, improvised skills, arsenal of warfare, violent explosives, MacGyvered gadgets, and an elaborate explanation of how it all went down. And if that fails, well, then he must use his fist. What this game is almost like a parody of the Metal Gear Solid franchise, or maybe something similar to that. But it's super freaking fun. It's also very adult themed, so this is not a game you want to buy for children. This is a great hidden gem that I've talked about before. It really is a must-play game. So even though Halloween is technically over now, we still got to talk about Pumpkin Jack, and this is currently $7.49, and that's 75% off the full price. And if I could just describe this simply, it almost feels like a GameCube era 3D platformer. It pretty much plays just like that, it pretty much looks just like that, but that's not a bad thing. This game isn't trying to be groundbreaking or the next best 3D platformer, but from start to finish, it really is a solid adventure. And I actually just learned a fun fact about this game. Well, I could be wrong, because I just read it on the internet, but I'm pretty sure this game was created by just one person, and that's absolutely incredible. And the last game we're talking about today is Worldless, and this is $9.99. That's 50% off the full price, and that is the lowest price this game has ever been. Worldless is set in a newborn universe based on entities trapped in an eternal conflict by the polarizing nature of their attractions. These interactions can result in an exchange of polarities, but this process is very unstable, and who knows what new results can come from it. So this is another game that I've mentioned in a Hidden Gems video, and essentially what it is like a 2D turn-based platformer. Sounds kind of strange, but just stay with me here. It works really well, and it almost goes for like that less is more approach. There's really not too much going on the screen, or when you're playing it, you might not think too much is going on in the game. All that being said, you're going to be hooked on this one. It really feels like something different and something special. And as you're playing it, you're like, man, who the hell thought of something like this? So Worldless is another game you don't want to miss. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a bunch of amazing Switch games that are on sale right now that you should check out. Yes, we are waiting for the Switch 2. Every single day at this point, I'm questioning, is it going to be today? Probably not. That being said, at least we have a bunch of amazing Switch games that we can play, and a lot of them we can get at discounted prices. So in the comments below, as always, let me know your thoughts and opinions, any games you might be picking up. And remember, if you made it to this part of the video, I really appreciate your support. And if you would like to win some eShop gift cards or have the opportunity every week, all you have to do is be a subscriber and be following me on Instagram. And yeah, just know I truly appreciate all the support. So you guys know me, I will see you very soon with a new video. Peace out.